Hello, this is Climate Games, and welcome to episode 11 of My Gaming History, the series where you can learn more about me and the games that have shaped my preferences and perspective with regards to gaming today. In this episode, we will be looking at Mcdonald's Treasure Land Adventure, a side-scrolling platformer developed by Treasure and released on the Sega Genesis in 1993. Treasure is, of course, the studio that is responsible for another side-scrolling platformer from my childhood in Gunstar Heroes, covered in episode 3 of this series. In McDonald's Treasure Land Adventure, you play as Ronald McDonald, the mascot of the world-famous fast food chain. Ronald stumbles upon a piece of a treasure map and then proceeds to travel the world in order to find the missing pieces and to ultimately seek out the treasure. The game plays like a typical platformer, with the exceptions being that Ronald, for some reason, has the ability to shoot magic from his hands, which functions as an offensive ability. And there is also a pretty novel mechanic in that he can latch onto rings in the level with a scarf or a chain of handkerchiefs, much like something that a magician would have. I wanted to bring this game up since I did find it rather challenging when I was a child, but more importantly, how bizarre and weird it was to have a McDonald's themed platformer on the Sega Genesis. Licensed games in general have a bad track record, but I would consider this to be an exception. The platforming feels good, and the novel handkerchief mechanic was fun to mess around with, since in later levels, there were moving rings which you had to use, launching yourself from one to the next in mid-air. There also wasn't that much egregious product placement, which made the game a little more palatable. I enjoyed how this game looked back in the day, and even in retrospect, due to how colourful it was. Bright colours mixed with strange enemy designs and Greek themed levels made this game a joy to play, since the world was fun to explore. There are 4 level sets with 4 corresponding boss fights, and the interesting thing here, learned from a tip from the Hamburglar, is that Ronald had to allow the bosses to attack him and extract one of his gems, which would then make the boss vulnerable to attack. The dark thing here is that gems in this game are equivalent to hit points, which makes the situation one where Ronald had to sacrifice part of his life force in order to take down the boss, which is certainly something unexpected in such a bright and cheerful game. Dark themes aside, this concept is pretty unique and is rarely seen in games. I remember playing through this game as a child, though I never quite managed to complete it. However, I do remember the boss fights and even the gem extraction portion of it, though the implications of that has not dawned on me until I made this video. Nevertheless, McDonald's Treasure Land Adventure is a platformer that I remember from my childhood due to its bizarre nature in the weird and wacky world of video games. Anyway, that will do it for this video. Thank you all for watching. Do stay tuned for the next episode for another game from my past. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Leave a comment if you would like to share your experience with the game. Thanks again, and I will see you in the next video.